You know, each Sunday at this time we look at the big stories and the big issues in crime this week, and as always, to guide you through it is Jackie Hames, who served with the Metropolitan Police for 30 years, Jackie, as we like to emphasise each and every week, which is very cool.
I feel every year of it.
Well, look, there's a lot of interesting things to talk about this week, particularly because when it comes to one big issue, it affects all of us, and that's cybercrime. We're all on these sort of things all the time now. So how big an issue is cybercrime?
Well, I mean, last week we were talking about the Office of National Statistics crime surveys, statistics saying that crime was dropping. You've got to wonder, where's it going? It's actually going on our computers, and that isn't in those statistics. This week is Get Safe Online week, and they are looking at the victims, how to stop ourselves becoming victims. And I had a chat with the chief executive and highlighted the emotional toll as well as the financial toll that cybercrime has.
I first discovered that there was something wrong when I logged onto my bank account and noticed money had been moved from one account to another account that I didn't use anymore.
We knew we'd been scammed at this point. Some of us lost around £1,100, some up to £14,000.
Emotionally, this experience has been utterly soul-destroying. How I could have been tricked for so long.
I always remember a famous robber in America being asked why he robbed banks, and his answer was because that's where the money is. And with the money that we're spending online, trillions of pounds that are being spent online worldwide, then criminals want a bit of that.
All in all, I lost about £2,400 over the counter.
I've lost about £19,000 from my life savings, which I'll never get back.
How big a problem is cybercrime in the country today?
Well, we know something that's been reported is 669 million. Now, that's a huge amount of money, but that's what was reported. We believe that figure is much higher than that. We're seeing all sorts of crimes that happen in the real world now happening online. But of course, it lends itself to the frauds that we're seeing. So we're seeing identity fraud taking place. We're seeing people's identities being stolen. But we're seeing people being conned into handing over money. You know, we've all now heard of phishing emails, but there's romantic scams that are there. There's auto fraud.
A lot of people would think that a bank fraud may have lost £50 out of their account. They might not see that as particularly serious.
Yeah, we thought that. We thought, well, surely people sit there and think £50, I'm going to get the money back off the bank, and actually they don't think like that. They feel as though somebody's been into their private information, that they've compromised their computer systems, that they've compromised their life, and they want to do something about it. We know that crime is traumatic, but we now know that even online crime, when you've been sitting in your room and you've had money taken out of your bank account, when your credit card has been used, when you've been compromised online, when you've been threatened, when you've been bullied online, can be a very traumatic and violating experience. There are an awful lot of things that people can do to make themselves safer. Just one thing that I talk about regularly is passwords. Like a bunch of keys, we wouldn't have one key for everything that we do in life. We shouldn't have one password for everything we do in life. I tell people they should be like the Queen. They should have two birthdays. Their real birthday and the birthday they put into some of the websites that they use, and remember that one. You don't always have to use your name. You can use your middle name. You can use your mother's maiden name, just to maybe move yourself a little bit distant away.
We're very much in the sort of embryonic stages still of the internet. Well, how do you see the future in terms of the risks to the public?
I think the internet is a fantastic place. I think everything is linking in with the internet. We get communications immediately on our phones. We can buy things as we're travelling along. As we're walking along the street, we can speak to people, we can take photographs, we can find out where we are. And I think that will progress and become more and more useful. But I think as that happens, criminals will become more aware of the things they can do. But on top of that, we will become more aware of the security.
Don't be a victim.
Don't be a victim.
Please, don't be a victim to these people.
I mean, the scale of it, Jackie, is frightening, but what always angers me with something like this is, you know, we try, don't we, to get with an older community, trying to get them online because there's so much out there, and yet often they're the most vulnerable to this sort of thing.
As ever, unfortunately. And you've got to remember, when people are going online, they're quite often in what they see as a secure, safe place, their own homes, you know, even in their own bedrooms, and they're doing transactions financially, but also things like online dating and friendship sites, just getting in contact with people in chat rooms. You feel safe because you're in your own home, and that brings your guard down, and it mustn't. You have to be aware of the fact that you can be conned online in the same way as you're being conned at your front doorstep, or you can be conned in the street. It's the virtual high street is just as dangerous as the real high street.
But it seems like they are determined to be one step ahead, or at least try to be one step ahead of these people.
Well, Get Safe Online is a private public partnership between a lot of the internet service providers and the big companies and the government to try and make people aware of the dangers, but also build into future technology safeguards so that the future threats can be addressed.
Jackie, thank you. Well, stay with us. We've got more from Jackie in a moment, including, of course, our appeal to trace missing people, and we take a look at some of the top stories, including the controversy over the release of a police killer, Harry Roberts.